Hey everybody, bless the King, King Jesus Yeshua, Savior of the world, Pastor Morgan here. So we're getting on with the weekly special of God in real time. Are you excited? I'm super excited. Let me give you a quick update and I'll be able to explain more later. All right, here we go. This week has been super psychotic. And by psychotic, I mean off the freaking railroad tracks psychotic. It's off the tracks, man. this train is doomed. That's what it was like. So beginning of the week, it's like testy. The waters were testy. And then it got really, really bad. I'm talking the worst it has probably ever been. It's been the worst ever. Couldn't even imagine it. Thought for sure, done. And then, through much prayer, through much inward reflection, through just thinking of the things that matter and prioritizing things and not putting so much emotion into certain things, the Lord helped me to turn it all around and get it back on track. And then it slowly started to go back up again, back to normal, back to good. And then, as always, it seems that on Sunday, it peaks to a really good emotion. And today was fantastic. And then, bam, Satan attacked. And unbelievable. It was super orchestrated. It was planned and detailed planned, Satan's attack today. It was psychotic. And I couldn't believe it. And once, as soon as I started to see it, I was like, this is not a normal situation. This is a planned attack. And I knew it right off the bat. And it kind of damaged half of the day. But then it slowly kind of went back to normal and it's trying to go back to normal. But it's crazy, bro. And I've been feeling under designed attack. And I've been feeling like I just want to persevere. I gotta persevere. There's nothing gonna stop me, man. Nothing. Doesn't matter what anybody says or what anything happens. I'm not stopping. I'm going all the way. And I'm doing fantastic new things. It's gonna be extraordinary. So, all right, I think the show might be on. Let's get on with it.
Here we go. This is my Bible. I am
right on time.
I have what it says I have. I can do what it says I can do. Today I will be taught the Word of God. I boldly confess. My mind is alert. My heart is receptive. I will never be the same. In Jesus' name. God bless you. I want to talk to you today about hearing in your spirit. Just as we have physical ears, we have spiritual ears. God doesn't speak to us out loud, normally, like we see in the movies. He speaks to us in our spirit. Many times He will speak things that contradict what we see with our eyes. Maybe you're facing an illness. Doesn't seem like you'll ever get well. You'll hear a voice saying, you're healthy, you're whole, you're strong. Or you're struggling in your finances. You can't seem to get ahead. You'll hear that voice saying, you're blessed, you're prosperous, you have more than enough. It's just the opposite of what it looks like. But God calls you what you are before it happens. When you're sick, God calls you well. When you're addicted, God calls you free. When you're barren, you can't conceive, God calls you a mother. In the scripture, Abraham didn't have any children, yet God called him the father of many nations. Gideon was insecure, afraid. He said, God, I can't lead the Israelites. I come from the poorest family. He saw himself as weak, unqualified, yet God called him a mighty hero. You will hear things in your spirit that don't make sense to your mind. You'll think, I'm not free. I still have this addiction. I'm not blessed, Joel. I have all these problems. Gideon said, I'm not a mighty hero. I'm the least one in my father's house. Abraham said, in effect, I'm not a father of many nations. I don't have one child. But if you're going to see it come to pass, you have to believe what you hear in your spirit and not what you see with your eyes. You have to walk by faith and not by sight. Your circumstances may look like you'll never get well, never get out of debt, never meet the right person. But if you'll listen down in your spirit, you'll hear a voice saying, healing is coming. You will lend and not borrow. New doors are about to open. Favor is in your future. Don't let what you see with your eyes talk you out of what you've heard in your spirit. God is saying to you what he said to Gideon. You are a mighty hero. You're going to accomplish big things. You're going to go further than you've imagined. He's saying to you what he said to Abraham. You're going to have those children. You're going to conceive. Your baby is on the way. He's saying to you what he said to David. You're going to defeat that giant. Yes, that obstacle is big, but you have greatness in you. You are anointed, equipped, empowered. He's saying to you what he said to my mother. That cancer is not the end. That sickness is not your final story. Restoration is coming. Things are about to turn in your favor. Now quit being discouraged by what you see and start being encouraged by what you hear. The scripture says the things we see are only temporary, but what we hear, what God speaks to us, that's permanent. One translation says the things we see are subject to change. That sickness may look permanent. The truth is, it's subject to change. One touch of God's favor, suddenly you'll be well. That addiction you've struggled with for years, looks like that's your destiny. Don't believe that lie. It's subject to change. You may feel like you're stuck, not getting good breaks, not seeing any growth. Stay in faith. It's subject to change. God has the final say. He said, the path of the righteous, your path gets brighter and brighter. If you'll listen, you'll hear that voice saying, new levels are coming. New opportunities, new relationships. 1 Kings chapter 18, there was a great drought. It hadn't rained in over 3.5 years. The crops had dried up. The food supply was limited. People were worried. They didn't know what they were going to do. The prophet Elijah came along and told the king, I hear the sound of an abundance of rain. There wasn't a cloud in the sky. Everywhere he looked, it was dry, barren, no trees, no vegetation. It had been that way for years. I'm sure the king thought, Elijah, this heat is getting to you. You're hearing things. There's no thunder. There's no sound of an abundance of rain. It's just the way it's always been. But that's the way God is. In a drought, God will talk to you about rain. In lack, he'll talk to you about abundance. When you feel insignificant, like you could never make much out of your life, he'll talk to you about greatness. He'll put things in your spirit that seem impossible to accomplish. Or when you're lonely, you don't think you'll ever meet the right person, he'll talk to you about a divine connection. He speaks to your spirit about what's coming. But very often, it's just the opposite of what our circumstances look like. You heard abundance, but all you can see is lack. You heard healing, all you can see is sickness. Or you heard new levels, all you can see is more of the same. The question is, whose report are you going to believe? What you saw with your eyes, or the report of the Lord, what you heard in your spirit? Like Elijah, I hear the sound of breakthroughs, the sound of freedom, the sound of healing. I hear the sound of new levels, the sound of abundance. God is about to do a new thing. He's going to exceed your expectations. You may not see any sign of it. Everything looks the same. Well, get ready. The rain is coming. What you heard is on the way. Well, I heard in my spirit, I'd start my own business. All I see is this job I'm working at. I must have heard wrong. Stay encouraged. It's coming. Your circumstances may say, you've reached your limits. You've gone as far as you can. Just settle there. That's one report. If you believe that, you'll get stuck. But if you'll tune that out and believe the report of the Lord, believe what you hear down in your spirit, that will override what you hear in the natural. When you get in agreement with God, you will become what He says about you. Maybe you're facing an illness. God says, by His stripes you are healed. Believe the report of the Lord and healing is coming. You're struggling with an addiction. God says, whom the Son sets free is free indeed. Believe His report and freedom is coming. What you hear will override what you see. When Elijah heard the sound of an abundance of rain, that drought had been going on over 3 years, no sign of rain. He could have thought, I'm keeping this to myself. I'm not going to tell anyone. They'll think I'm crazy. But Elijah had the boldness to announce what he heard. He went right to the king and said, I hear the sound of an abundance of rain. Here's the principle. It's not enough to just believe what you've heard. You need to announce it. If you're sick, tell someone, I'm healthy, I'm whole, I will live and not die. They may look at you and think, what do you mean? You saw the medical report. There's no sign of you getting better. When you announce it, it sets the miracle into motion. Your words have creative power. You give life to your faith by speaking it out. The scripture says, let the redeemed of the Lord say so. If you want to get well, say so. If you want to break that addiction, say so. If you want to accomplish your dreams, say so. There may not be any sign of it, but like Elijah, you need to announce to people, I'm blessed. I'm free. We're going to have this baby. We're going to move into that new house. Our son is going to do great things. Are you sure? I thought your son was off course. I thought he was running with the wrong crowd, getting into trouble. Yes, but that's temporary. That's subject to change. That's what you see with your eyes. But what I heard in my spirit is, as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. If you'll start announcing what you heard, not arrogantly, not like a know-it-all, but in humility, with a quiet confidence, that's your faith being released. That's what allows God to do great things. Banks say you're not qualified. Friends say you'll never move into that house. Like Elijah, there may not be a cloud in the sky, and yet you have the boldness to tell people that it's not only going to rain, but it's going to be an abundance of rain. Don't be surprised if you have some naysayers, but you're not announcing it to get people to agree with you. So they'll encourage you, hey, let me believe with you as well. That's great when it happens, but that's not the primary reason. You're announcing it to show God that you believe what you've heard, and you're announcing it to show the enemy that all the forces of darkness are not going to talk you out of what God put in your heart. I am free from this addiction. My family is being restored. Those words go right back down into your own spirit and help you to stay encouraged. But if all you hear is how bad the drought is and how it's never going to rain, that negative report is going to keep you from the abundance that belongs to you. You need to start not only announcing what God put in your spirit, but start thanking God for what you've heard. Father, thank you that my baby is on the way. Thank you that I'm coming out of debt. Thank you that I'm free from this addiction. Thank you that new doors are opening in my career. Elijah was on top of Mount Carmel. He told his assistant to go look on the other side of the mountain to see if there was any sign of rain. The young man came back and said, no, Elijah, there's not a cloud in the sky. It's perfectly clear. It's not going to rain. Elijah didn't get discouraged. He didn't think, God, I must have heard you wrong. His attitude was, I'm not moved by what you see. I know what I've heard. When you know what you've heard, you won't be upset when circumstances don't line up. You won't get discouraged over a negative medical report. You won't give up on a dream because you've had some setbacks. Like Elijah, you're not moved by what you see. You know what God has spoken to you. You've heard God God is restoring health back into you. You've heard whatever you touch will prosper and succeed. You've heard the spouse is coming, the favor is coming, the rain is coming. But maybe today you're in a drought. It's barren, things haven't worked out. Yes, you can hear rain in your spirit, but it's been a long time. There's no sign of it happening. That's the real battle. Are you going to let what you see talk you out of what you've heard? Are you going to let circumstances, what people say, what hasn't worked out, convince you to settle where you are, give up on what you're believing for? Now get your passion back. Stir your faith up. God did not create you to live in a drought, constantly struggling, stuck in one level. That is not your destiny. The rain is coming. Promotion is coming. Health is coming. The right people are coming. What you heard is on the way. I can imagine this assistant thought, Elijah must have missed it this time. He's performed some great miracles, but there is no rain in sight. It is perfectly clear. I love what Elijah did. When the young man told him that it wasn't going to happen, instead of accepting it, he told him, go back and look again. Every time he came and said, still nothing, no rain, Elijah had him go back and look again and again and again. On the seventh time, the young man came and said, this time I saw a small cloud starting to form. Here's my point. Elijah was so convinced it was going to happen. Instead of changing his mind, instead of being talked out of it, he sent the young man back until he changed his mind. God will speak things to your spirit that contradict what you see with your eyes. Don't let people talk you out of it. Instead of you changing your mind, tell them, go back and look again. At some point, they're going to see what God has spoken to you. But the people close to you, those you allow in your inner circle, they need to be for you. You can't afford to have doubters, naysayers, telling you that you can't get well, the problem's too big, you can't accomplish your dreams. Your destiny is too important to try to convince people what you've heard. Elijah didn't debate with the young man. He didn't try to persuade him. He kept sending him away until he finally believed. If you're going to stay in faith, you may have to send some people away for a little while. You may have to distance yourself from that relative, that co-worker that's always telling you what you can't become. You don't have the resources, the connections, the influence. How could my father think he could touch the world from that limited environment? There was no sign of it. Not a cloud in the sky, no people supporting him. But when you know what you've heard and you don't let people talk you out of it, God will open doors that no person can shut. God will make things happen that you could not make happen. The real question is, will you have the boldness to believe what you've heard, even though the circumstances say it's not possible? You heard you're going to have a baby, but the medical report says no way. You heard you're going to get your master's degree, but no one in your family has attended college. You heard your business was going to take off, but right now you can barely pay your bills. God puts things in our spirit as a seed. If we dismiss it, think no way, that'll never happen, then it won't take root. But if you'll do like my father, like the lady with twins, like Elijah, and say, God, I don't see a way, but I know you wouldn't have put this in me if you didn't have a way. So, Lord, I want to thank you that the rain is coming, the favor is coming, the healing is coming, that you're bringing the right people, causing things to fall into place. Lord, thank you that you're taking me where I could not go on my own. You don't have to figure out how it's going to happen. All you have to do is believe. This assistant said, I see a little cloud starting to form. That little cloud turned into a big cloud, and before long, there was an abundance of rain. Elijah saw what he heard in his spirit. You may not see how you can accomplish your dream, or how you can get well, how you can break that addiction. You know what you've heard, but there's no sign of it. All it takes is a little cloud, a little favor, one good break, one right person, one healing, and like Elijah, suddenly you will see what you've heard. My father saw God open door after door. He and my mother founded Lakewood. Daddy was in the ministry for over 50 years, touching the world. When he would go back home, his parents were amazed. They couldn't believe the favor and influence that he had. They couldn't see it at the time. They didn't think it was in him. But when people are not for you, don't get discouraged. They may not celebrate you until after the abundance of rain. That's okay. The main thing is don't let their doubt keep you from what you've heard. Some of the things God puts in your spirit are not going to make sense to other people. You have to be willing to be misunderstood, to be talked about, even to be criticized. God told Noah to build a huge boat because there was going to be a great flood. What's interesting is it had never rained up to that point. The earth was watered from the dew on the ground. People had never seen rain coming down from the sky. Here Noah was building this boat, not by the ocean, not close to the shores where he could easily push it in. He built it out on dry ground. It wasn't a little fishing boat. God had him build it 450 feet long, a football field and a half. I can imagine people walking by, shaking their head. Noah, you must have lost your mind. Building a boat out here in the middle of nowhere. Have you been smoking some of these herbs out in the desert? This is far out. He was made fun of, ridiculed, talked about. It's not that different today. You're telling me you're going to have a baby, and it's been 20 years, and the medical report says no way. You're telling me you're going to touch the world, and you're a teenager on a farm with no money, no education, no support. You're telling me your child's going to do great things, and he spends half the school year in detention? Joel, you're telling me the city is going to sell you the compact center so you can have church in it? People may not understand. They may think you're far out. You're not accepting reality. In one sense, it's not their fault. They didn't hear what you've heard. Don't expect them to cheer you on. If you had to have them to fulfill your purpose, then they would agree with you. If they don't, then you don't need their support. You don't need their encouragement. Don't let them talk you out of what you've heard. The enemy will use people, and sometimes people you love and respect, to plant doubt and negativity. Are you sure you're going to get that promotion? There are 3 more qualified people in front of you. I just don't see it. Maybe in 5 years. Noah, are you sure it's going to rain? And by the way, what's rain? And Noah, that's good, isn't it? And Noah, you're telling me, Noah, water is going to fall from the sky and flood the earth? Noah, you need to come back to reality. That's never happened before. God is going to put things in your spirit that have never happened. Things that your family have never seen. New levels, promotion, influence. You are coming into a time where you're going to see unprecedented favor. Things bigger than you've imagined. But while you're believing for it, don't be surprised if you're misunderstood. Noah was the talk of the town. Let's go see this crazy guy out building a boat in the middle of nowhere. Noah didn't get offended. He knew they didn't hear what he heard. Don't be upset by the naysayers, people that are not for you. They can't stop your destiny. Just keep announcing what you've heard and keep thanking God that it's on the way. You do this, I believe and declare what you've heard in your spirit is going to override what you see with your eyes. Like Noah, God's about to do something that you've never seen. You're coming in to an abundance of favor, an abundance of promotion, an abundance of creativity, an abundance of health, a new level of your destiny in Jesus' name.
In Jesus' name.
Can you say amen?
Amen.
I'd like to give you an opportunity to make Jesus the Lord of your life. Would you pray with me? Just say, Lord Jesus, I repent of my sins. Come into my heart. I make you my Lord and Savior. Friends, if you prayed that simple prayer, we believe you got born again. Get in a good Bible-based church. Keep God first place.
The proceeding has been a paid program from Joel Osteen Ministries.
I want to say why everything went psychotic this week. I actually need to say it. I need to say it. The reason why the train went off the tracks this week, to the point it was almost the end, literally, was because of the doubt others put on my book. And everything that he said that people would say, well, people have been saying it for years. And it really came to a head this week. And it was bad. It was really bad. Really bad. I felt suicidal about it. People talking about my books, putting it down, saying I live in a fantasy world, saying that this is not reality. Well, it is reality. See, because they said it wasn't reality on day one, when I first picked up the pen and put it on paper. They said it will never happen. It's not real. You're living in a fantasy world. That's exactly what they said. And then day 2, day 3, day 100, day 500, day 1,000, every single day this kept happening. And 5 years later, I guess it's not so impossible, is it? I guess this isn't a fantasy. This is reality. See, I want to show you something, okay? Just for anybody who continues to doubt. That's tangible. That's real. The words, yeah, they're really in there. It's real. Those are editings. I've been editing. I have the final proof over there. But I just want to show you because this is like a phone book. It is seriously huge. It is about 300 pages long. That big, huge book. Isn't that weird? This is a regular-sized book. That's a strange thing. Exactly what it said. Let's go see that crazy man out there in the wilderness building a big boat. Here's a regular-sized book. Here's my book right beside it. It's like twice as big. It really is. I mean, look at it. Twice the size of a regular book. That big old book. Let's go look at that crazy dude that God talked to. That's doing that big crazy thing out there. It wasn't so crazy, was it? Noah's Ark wasn't so crazy, was it? Abraham wasn't so crazy, was he? Neither was Gideon. Neither was King David. Neither am I. This is reality. It's so beautiful that he kept talking about Elijah. I just want to tell everybody why that's so beautiful. Because it has been exactly 7 years. In 1 month, it will be exactly 7 years since I started working on my first book. Since I heard from God and began to do my work for the King. 7 years. I started in 2011. And on the 7th year, he got word a tiny cloud had come. On the 7th time that the dude came back with a report Do you understand? It's no accident that that was said. It's reality. This is God in real time. Cannot be faked, cannot be mistaken. No matter what you believe, you heard it. You can't deny the evidence. So you only really have two choices. There's really only two choices. One, you can continue to doubt and play games and perhaps miss the train. Or you can buy your ticket of faith, believe in the Lord, trust what I'm saying, and buy that ticket of faith and get on the train. And we ride it. We ride to success and to victory and to change this world for the better. It's all up to you. I want you to know, though, you need to know something very, very vital, most important. Whether you believe or not, it is going to happen. Guaranteed going to happen. That's 100% guaranteed from God himself. I know exactly what I heard, and I know exactly what I saw. I'm not crazy. I'm not psychotic. I don't believe in fantasies. I'm a very logistical person. I believe in facts and figures and bottom line and let's get it done. And no, I ain't got time for all the hope and the trickery. Let's get on. Let me see an actual fact sheet. Like what step are we on? Let me see all the tiny little intricate details. Like that's what kind of person I am. So when I say it's going to work out, you can know for sure that I've already seen the entire thing. I know every little tiny part. It's going to work. You didn't get to see what I got to see. Not at all. See, I see beyond what normal people see. And that's not a weird thing to say. The Holy Spirit is with me. He shows me great and fantastic things that if I could explain them, you would think that it's not good that a human should know such things. Is that weird to say? Maybe to your fleshly, worldly ears, but it's not weird for me. It's not. Not at all. I don't feel ashamed to say it. I don't care who says anything about it. You think I'm crazy, but, I guess I ain't so crazy anymore. I mean, like, this is reality. This really exists. I mean, like, you can't get away from it, bro. Like, it's real. You can't deny that. It's impossible. And then whenever the Lord makes it happen, whether it be this year or within the seventh year, I mean, after the seventh year, whenever he makes it happen, I wonder then if people will say the same things. I wonder if that, he made it big with his book, but he's never going to break into the movie industry like he said he would. That wouldn't happen. I'll bet they'll be there to say that too. And then once I break the movie industry and I demolish it and I rebuild it with all the things that I have in store that God has taught me and showed me, I bet they'll say, there's no way the world is going to ever take on to this new way of how we do movies. I bet they'll say that. And then once the world takes it over, I bet they'll say, you know what? It won't last long. I bet they'll say that. And then when they're old and I'm super highly successful, like beyond the max, like the top you could possibly ever be for a human, probably. That's what I'm hoping for. Not really the success, but that you see, because all the success and money I'm going to get, I'm going to keep like 0.1% of it. The rest of it is going to be going into endeavors to change the world. You see, I've been rich in my life before, but I've also been poor a lot. And I actually like being poor. Like, it's not that big of a deal to me. I like going to the dollar store and the Walmart. Like, even if I was a millionaire, I would still go to the dollar store and Walmart. I'm not going to the rich and fancy stores. I'm just not doing it. So, that's just the way things are. I'm never going to change doing that stuff. So having $100 million in the bank, it's not an interest to me. What's an interest to me is having $1 billion in a bank so I could do more effective things to change this world for Christ. That's what I want to do. So I wouldn't even be a rich man because it's not even my money. I'm a steward. And if you don't know what a steward is, go look that word up. S-T-E-W-A-R-D, steward. And you'll know. And that's all I am. He's the king. I am a servant. I'm his child, but I'm also a servant. I take my service really serious. I'd rather die than break the boundaries of my service or quit my service. I'd just rather die. I'm not just saying that. I'd physically die. I'd rather have that happen. Put me in a coffin, bury me beside my sons. I'd rather have that than to ever do anything stupid to mess up my service. I want it to be impeccable. That I'm going to do huge things. The Lord's making huge things to happen in my life, and my future is going to be beyond the max amazing, okay? But that's something just for me, that I want just for me. Oh, my books are going to touch the world. That's great. The movies I'm going to make with my books and other books, other screenplays, it's going to be fantastic. That's for everybody. What's for me is knowing that I served 100%, that my record is impeccable. That's what I want, just for me. All the money, all the stuff that's going to come, all the success, all the fame, that's not even mine. That's all God's. So, really, I got to ask him to even go to the bank if I need to go to the bank. You know what I'm saying? Like, Lord, can I have this new, my dream car is the DeLorean from the Back to the Future, the first movie, not any other movie. And the blue lights and everything on the sides and how, oh my God, it would be the greatest thing in human history, I'm telling you. It'd be the greatest thing of my whole life, I got to tell you. It would equal watching my kids being born. Sorry. Well, that's the way it is. If I could have the DeLorean from Back to the Future, oh my God, it'd be the greatest thing the world has ever seen, dude. For me, at least. It'd be so amazing. And I would just, because it's not really my money, I'm a steward, I would even have to ask the Lord for that and pray about it for a while. Just to have that one luxury. That's the only thing I would ever really want that would be fancy or something, But if he said no, if I felt like, oh, okay, this would be better spent elsewhere, I shouldn't have this thing, then I wouldn't do it because it's not my money. That's the way I am. I don't never play trickery in games with other people's money. It's not mine. I'm not owing anybody anything. And how could I ever possibly steal from God? It's an impossibility. Just not humanly possible. It would be easier for you to rip my eyeball out in a fight than it would be for me to ever even think about sticking my finger in the direction of God's wallet, if you get what I'm saying. It just wouldn't happen. And it wouldn't happen that you could probably defeat me in a fight anyway. Not being boastful or prideful. Just saying. So, but yeah, it's all going to work out. My books are going to be amazing. And I just want to say, I really don't need anybody's help because I know that the Lord's going to make it happen. But if you do want to invest, I'm telling you, I got to tell you, dude, okay? I just got to give you a simple fact. And I'm almost done with this video. Like, this ain't going to be much longer. Here's a simple fact. For every book that I sell going self-publish, I get about 85%. Now, if I sell the book for $12, listen, for $12, I'll roughly get about $10 per book. $12.50, something like that. Or $12.99. Doesn't really matter. If I sell it at that price, I will personally get $10. Now, that's a simple thing. Decent books that are decent get about 1,000 to 10,000 in sales, copies sold. Those are decent books. Really good books go from 10,000 to 100,000 copies. Those are like the really, really good books. The best books like J.K. Rowling and Stephen King and stuff, are like 1 million copies. Now think, if I went self-publishing, what's 1 million times 10? And my book is, I gotta tell you, my book is better. My book is better than all these, The Hobbit, Lord of the Rings. Like, my book is way better, dude. I'm telling you, I'm not boasting. That's reality. Like, I've read it like 20 times, and it's still not boring. I thought by now it would get boring. It's not boring. It's amazing. It's still amazing. At like the 20th time I read it, still amazing. I'm altering little things and make it even better day by day as I wait for the Lord to make it happen. But think, I sell 1 million copies, which is like regular for huge books, for the really great books. That's $10 million. And if you was a single investor, I want to say something. If you were a single investor that got all the money, it costs about between $5,000 to $10,000 for one book. I know that sounds a lot, but listen to what I'm about to say. And I sold 1 million copies, as I believe it's going to happen, because it's gonna start a wildfire. I'm telling you. Just, oh my God, bro. This book, the book that God helped me to write right here that I keep showing you guys, this style of book has never been written before. Never. In the entire course of history. Never. It's unique. It's the only one of its kind. I'm not going to give the answer why until I know it's in print so that nobody steals my idea. But it's really, the Lord gave me permission to do it. It's really, and I hope nobody ever copies this once I say what it is. But you have to listen to me. If you did that investment, you would get 9%, because God gets higher, 10% the tithe. You would get 9% of that. If I sold 1 million copies, that's $10 million. Do you know how much you're getting from that? $900,000. That's reality. That's real. That's real brass tacks. That's not imaginative thinking. That's real. If you do the math, that's exactly what you would get back. For say it costs $8,000. For an $8,000 investment, you would get $892,000 left. That would be the money you got back. Isn't that amazing? And here's the time limit. It would only take about 12 to 24 months. Maybe a little bit longer, maybe 36 months. But think of that. In your entire life, you would never have an opportunity to do that again. Never. You can't bank nothing on the stock market like that. And even if it fails, it's not going to. You got to trust me, it's not going to. But even if it fails, all the money that I would first get, it would still go to the investor. I don't even get paid until the investor gets paid. At least what they put into the book. Say if you paid $8,000 to get up and all the advertising and everything and to pay for me to go do book tours, you would get all that money back anyway from any sales that I ever got. You would get the very first money before I ever got money. We could even sign a contract saying that. I'm not trying to rip anybody off. I'm just saying that's how it works. Like, I'm not the type of guy, I don't even really care about the money, really, because, like, I could live with family, relatives, friends. I don't care. Like, I'm always going to be taken care of. Lord's always been taking care of me. I'm solid. So you're never going to lose your money. That's the first thing. You're not going to ever lose your money. And secondly, the gains are just unimaginable, bro, because of the system that I'm using and the way I'm going, unimaginable gains. We're going to be freaking millionaires, do you understand? And then if you take that money that you get back, the hundreds of thousands of dollars from your share of the 9%, and you help me invest it and do other things. I have other books. This isn't just one book. This is the first book in a trilogy. Once this goes huge, they're going to want to read the other books. So you're guaranteed more investments then, if you want to do it. If I even allow you to do it, because the only thing I need to do is get this up and going, and I'm good with everything else, because I have so much money, I'll just be able to take care of everything else. But if you wanted to, you might be able to go into my screenplays where I turn my books and adapt them into movies. And then once I do that, if you gave maybe $500,000 of your share into the movie, you would get another 9% of the movie. And the movies gross about $100 to $500 million box office, nationwide or worldwide. And you're talking in the tens of millions then that you would get back. I don't think anybody is understanding what I'm saying here. We're literally going to be rich within the next 5 years. If you don't want that, my dude, you got mental problems. Like that's the only thing I've been thinking lately. Like how are people not understanding this, bro? We're going to be, if your only aim is to be rich, if you want to have a better life, right there's the ticket. Like, I don't know what? Excuse me, bro. You got mental problems or something? Like, you could work for the next 20 years and never see the money that I'm talking about. Never. You never see that money. This is a lottery ticket ready to be cashed in. I'm just saying. I've always thought of it that way. Like, what is everybody's problem, dude? I don't understand it. I just don't get it. But hey, that's your choice, The Lord's going to make it happen. Just think. I just want one last thing before I turn this off. If the Lord sends me another investor instead of any of you, or if I am able to come up with the money myself, you will never, ever get this opportunity ever again. I'm guaranteeing you that you will never see that again. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Someone who's willing to give you untaxed 9% of their money. That's unbelievable. You will never, ever, ever get that. And people are wondering, I've heard people say, oh man, all kinds, just unimaginable stuff, the stupidest stuff that they say. The stupidest stuff. Here's what I say. The longer you think about it, the more the devil's going to pile up doubts and, oh, let's look at this and, oh, but what if this and what if that? Like, dude, don't even think of that. Don't even think of any of that. Because if you do, and if I would have ever thought of that, I would have never left off page number 1. I would have listened to everybody else, and this would not exist, and neither would the other 2 books. They would not exist. You can't think like that. The only way you can think is, look, man, we only need one fact, one truth to tie ourselves to, and then focus on that entirely. Here's what it is. It's going to work. God said so. It's 100% guaranteed. That's really all you got to think about, and bam, dude, you win. That's guaranteed. Like when they were like, oh my God, you're living in a fantasy world. It's never going to happen. Brr, brr, brr. When they said that all day, every day, there's only one thing that came to my mind. God said it was going to work. It's going to work. That's all I need to know. He's master, dude. He said it was going to work because nobody can stop me. But what are they going to do? Break my arm so I can't write with, pens or whatever? There's nothing. There's zero. All it is hot air talking. That's all it is. There's nobody can stop us. If you team up with me, there's zero. Nothing can stop us. And all the people that might be out in the industry, the literary world, it doesn't even matter what they say because the path that I'm going, I'm the boss. That's how it works. I get 100% creative control and I get 85% of the profits. I'm the boss. And I say what happens. And if you're my teammate, if you're my fellow investor, you're partly the boss too. And we're going to work. You ain't even got to do nothing. You just kick back and I handle this, bro. I'll take this down like every other giant that's ever faced me. By the power of the Lord, they're all dead and buried. You wouldn't even know, let me tell you. It's going to work, guys. And I'm only saying all this. Not that I'm begging for investors. No, I'm not. I'm not. I'm actually begging that you would do your own self a favor. That's what I'm doing. Because if you think about it, you already heard it. Like I know in my spirit what God said 7 years ago and exactly what he showed me was going to happen. I know that. And that's what's kept me going for 7 years. And I'm never going to stop, no matter if it's like another 20 years. But it's not going to be. I don't think it's going to be. I think it's going to be real soon, I got to tell you. And we just heard real evidence that cannot be manipulated. God in real time. You heard that. No way to pretend like that didn't happen. That was real. So we know. It's not a hope. It's not imagination. It's not all pie in the sky, things falling out of the sky. It's not things falling out of the sky. Not magical dreams. No. This is real. No way to argue it. And if you just stay focused on that, you'll win. We will win. And that's it. And I'm not asking any of this, oh, be my investor. Oh, I'm not doing that. Because it's going to happen with or without anybody. It's already guaranteed to happen. It already exists. How long? I just want to know. How long are you going to allow this lottery ticket to sit on the ground and be taken by the wind before you decide to pick it up? This is for you. I already know I'm good, bro. Like, I'm good. My investors, 9%. My tithe, that takes it to 19%. Then I'm going to round it up to 25%. Then I'm going to pay off, I'm going to have like about 20% to 25% donations, like to things that, it's going to be about 20% to like, organizations and stuff and outreach and evangelism. Then I'm going to take 5% of the money and sow it into all my other endeavors. And then I'm going to keep 50 for myself to build up my life. Then that's the way it's going to work. I've already got it organized. Like, it's the way it's going to work. Nothing's ever going to change that. It's definitely how it's going down. So we're guaranteed to win. Excuse me. It's guaranteed to be awesome. But it all hinges on whether you have more faith in your colored paper that you want to cling to, that's not going to multiply as it collects dust in your hand, or you want to cling to faith. And not even that. Let's not even think about the money. Let's think about what impact my evangelistic weapon could have on popular culture to turn it back towards morality and get people to think, wow, that's a symbolic version of the New Testament. I want to go see what that Bible is all about. What is all the buzz about? This book I just read, this movie that I'm, in the future, this movie I just saw, unbelievable. I can't believe what I just saw. That is the greatest thing I've ever seen before. That is an a symbolic representation of the New Testament. Oh my God, bro! Like, why does everyone hate the Bible? I gotta go check this out. I want to go see. I want to go read that and see what that's about. And that's what it's going to do. Think about that. You could be a part of that. Oh my God, bro! That's the thing for me. To me, I already know the money's coming. Money, popularity, all that. I don't really care about popularity. I mean, I like to look good sometimes. I like, hey, high fives, man, did a great job. But that's about it. Like, I don't really care. I don't need 1 million people to be my friend. I just need like 5. You know what I'm saying? Or I just need like 12. Less one, crazy one. Okay, that wants to try to kill me and betray me. You know what I'm saying? I want to imitate Jesus. You know what I mean? I don't need 1 million people. Just need 11. Okay? And not the betrayer. So, yeah, man. It's going to be fantastic, bro. You don't even know. That's the big goal. Like, at the end of your life, everybody makes money. Even if you're poor, you got government money. You got food stamps. You got all that. You got government housing, whatever. You made it. You know what I mean? You survived. And if you're middle class, you had a nice life. If you're upper class, you had a really nice life. Everybody has an opportunity to make money. Almost nobody, almost zero humans on the planet have an opportunity to change the world towards Jesus. That's something you'll never be forgotten for. All the other things in life are, yeah, that's great, but you're going to go into your grave knowing you're going to get old and be like, dude, I was there. You could just sit there and reflect by yourself one day, just be like, dude, I was there. I did it. My life was worth something. You'd be able to say that. I was there on the front lines, dude, when they were doing gay marriages in churches. And they were imprisoning people for saying that gay marriage is evil. When they were locking people up for preaching the gospel out on the street, I was there on the front lines. I struck a blow so deep to the enemy, dude, that it changed everything. It changed the way people see us Christians. It changed the way they view the Holy Bible. It turned our countries around. It set the crazy political correctness and social justice warriors, it eradicated them. It ended it. The war was won. Things were set back to normal. You could say you were there to do that. 1,000 soldiers die on the battlefield of this injustice and popular culture all day, every day. Right here is the atomic bomb, bro. This is going to end it. This is the end game. The entire trilogy is the end game. This is it. This is the secret mighty weapon the Lord has been building in secret with me. I'm telling you, it's going to strike like lightning, and it's going to hit like an atomic bomb. I'm telling you. And you could say you were one of the generals on the battlefield that helped make this happen. And you could look out on civilization and see where you left your mark for all the following generations. And not many humans in existence or in the past have been able to say that. That's something that you cannot buy. That's something you cannot just go out and get. That's something not even $1 billion can buy. Donald Trump couldn't buy that with all the money he has. That's something only you can do once, special, and maybe 5 lifetimes. That don't happen too often. This really does not happen that often. I mean, think about something that revolutionized, everything. That revolutionized popular culture that had such an effect that it ripple effect to every other area. Because once you introduce morality on a mass scale with the viewing audience being in the hundreds of millions and even in the billions, and you change what is popular and what they like from being the nakedness and the murder and the craziness to all values and logic and reason and love and character and sympathy and honor and respect and duty. Once you invite those in, then that has a ripple effect to everything. Social media, mainstream media, politics, everyday life. The music will start to change. The movies will start to change. The TV shows will start to change. The cartoons will start to change. And it all takes one deep strike right at the heart of it. And that's what this is. A dagger in the heart of this evil thing that's happening now. And it will ripple effect. And within a generation, it will change things. And even if I get no notoriety, even if they're like, oh, that's not what made it change, we all know how bad it is. You know what I mean? You just look on, you flip it on any channel, nakedness, sex, gay people, hermaphrodites, whatever the heck you call them, people that cut off their privates and turn it into girls. Like, what the hell is wrong with you? I mean, sorry to swear. My goodness, dude. You can never repair that. Like, that's if you 10 years, 5 years from now, you're like, oh my God, what did I do? You'd never get your privates back. It's never happening, bro. That's a life sentence. You've doomed yourself. If you want to have kids later on, you're doomed. Doomed. It's over. Aren't you tired of seeing it, bro? Like it's out of control. Now they have, I just want to say, now they have where they're even corrupting our kids in the schools. It used to be prayers in schools. Now it's teaching them about how to be transgender in schools. Like, what the hell is going on here? I'm sorry to swear, Father. I'm sorry in Jesus' name. But how did it go from, all right, school, we're going to have a good day, and thank you, our Lord Father God, for everything in Jesus' name, and let's have a productive day, guys. How did it go from that to being, oh, guess what? Now we got to learn how a little boy wants to be a girl, and let's dress up like, what the hell are you talking about? How did we get to that point? How is that now normal? And now we're treated as criminals when we say a prayer inside of a school. But oh boy, you definitely got to accept these little gay, weird people that come in and teach your kids. Abomination is what they teach them, abomination. And not a one will stand for prayer in schools. Think about it. We could end all of it. And you could be the one to help make it happen. Non-stop promotion, non-stop funding, and we can do it, dude. All it takes is some colored paper. The weapon is already formed. I'm still forming the other sides of the weapon. Once this hits, it's, you got like a year before you come out with the next movie or the next book or something. You got to let it expand. And once you realize, okay, the audience is really listening, then you hit them with the next one, dude. That's how it works. And by that time, second and third one will be done. So it's going to be a great deal. It's already fashioned, dude. The weapons are already fashioned. We just got to use them and not be cowards and go all the way, dude. That's how it works. That's how it works. That's how victory is done. That's how you win a war. And that's how you bring Christ back into the mainstream. All the disciples died except for John. And they knew after the stoning of Stephen what it would cause. They knew every time they seen Jesus be almost stoned to death by the people, by the Jews there, they knew what it was going to cost them. Peter knew it. All the disciples knew it when they fled from the Garden of Gethsemane. They knew it. So when he was resurrected, they knew what price had to be paid. It was going to cost them their lives. And if you're not willing to lay anything down, don't even come, man. Like, don't even come around here. I don't want your help. I don't want you to even be a part of it. Your name is not associated with us. Your name will not be associated with. I will make sure that it's purposely stricken from the record that you were ever a part of me or what God did with me. Come here knowing that you have to lay it all on the line and you're willing to go all the way to get this done. Because for me, it's not money. For me, it's not for popularity and fame. For me, it's for him. And for my children and for your children. Doesn't this place suck, man? Don't you want to change it? We have a king. He has given us command to make this world a better place. That is a command. It's not even an option. You must obey. And so think about it. You ain't doing nothing. Or if you think you are, look at the actual results that you're producing. Zero. It's next to nothing. You're posting 100 things. Oh, let's post 100 things. Let's talk for 2 hours about nonsense. Yet, sing 100 songs. Do whatever you're going to do. Zero results. It will have no change. And you know that. You want to know how you know that? Look at your post from a year ago. Look at your post today. They are identical. What has changed? Here, I'll tell you. Nothing. That is what has changed. Nothing. Zero. You know it. I know it. Everybody knows it. Nobody wants to face that fact, though. Nobody. You want to know why? Because then you'd have to own up and say, I've wasted my time here. This has all been a waste. And you'd have to deal with the feeling like, oh my God, bro, like I can't. Years of my life were wasted doing nothing, and I thought I was producing some kind of result, but I'm not. Because you look like unimaginable amount of people were jacked up on Facebook 24/7. And you know what's also crazy? They changed the algorithm of Facebook that the more you like something, the more they lump you into groups, into sects. SECTS, sects, groups. So that the ones who are sick with sin are in a hidden bubble that will never see any of your posts. Did you know that that's what they're doing? Because that's what they're doing. That's what their algorithm does. That's what their coding does. That's what their monitoring of all the things that you like, that's what it does. It puts you into a box with everybody who has similar interests. So that the ones who you're trying to reach, you can never reach. Because even if they're following you, they will still not see your content. That's how it works. That's why YouTube is a way better platform. Because you can't be censored like that. Your videos are uploaded instantly. Not instantly. I mean, you're uploaded, and there are a few parameters, like whether it's funny or educational or whatever it is, or if it's an advertising scheme, just like commercials or whatever, advertising, you're trying to sell a product. Those are the only limitations. That's why I would rather have 5,000 people on my YouTube channel than I would ever want on my Facebook page. If I could, and we could convert everything over to YouTube, I would abandon Facebook forever. It's garbage. It really is garbage. The platform is garbage. I'm just using it because that's where everybody wants to be at. You guys are missing out big time. If you see, you come to be entertained and talk to your friends that you'll probably never even meet in person in your entire life. These are people that you have on the other side. Most of these people are not even real. Do you know what they are? They're scammers, and they're pornography sites trying to trick you into giving them their credit cards or checking out their pornography site. That's what I'd say about 30% of them are. I'd say another 20% of them are not the real people that they say they are. They're on the other side of a computer screen. You can never see them. They put fake pictures up. They'll never do a video of themselves, ever. They will always come up with an excuse. Oh, man, I can't do it. I got this sucky little phone. Nobody's got a sucky little phone, you know what I'm saying? Everybody can do a picture. You can all do a picture of yourself. Not like one that looks like out of a magazine, like something real, like a selfie of your eye or something. Like, hey, what's up? You know what I'm saying? Half your face. You can tell, I've been on here so long, friending and unfriending, I can just instantly tell by the picture, or like I just look for 5 seconds on their profile, instantly fake. It's instantly fake. I don't even need to go that far. I just go scroll down one little scroll. Done. Fake. You're fake. You're fake. No reason even blocked, spammed. That's the way it is. Garbage. The whole system is garbage. Because you get 100 friend requests a day like me, and they're all like people from strange places that don't even look real. Half of them don't even have their own picture. Or half of them have a picture, but it's too perfect to be a normal picture. Too perfect. It looks like something out of a magazine. It's not real. It's not real. It's never going to be real. That platform sucks. We should all convert over to YouTube. That's what we should really do. And just drop Facebook altogether. And if we could have a messenger and an open timeline on YouTube, that would be the greatest thing. That would be the greatest thing ever. I would go there. I would never return to Facebook. It's garbage. It's just literally garbage. Everyone's spreading the same garbage, being piled in the same groups, and they can never associate with anybody else that they want to reach. It's so restricted. It's unbelievably restricted. And everybody loves it. I want to stay there forever. It's stupid, man. It's so stupid. It's never going to work that way. And don't worry, I'm already come up with my own social media platform to figure that out. I mean, I've been determined to do that for a little while, and the Lord's been really building something pretty cool with me. So, I mean, like, you guys don't even know. I literally have dozens of inventions and ideas that are going to revolutionize things, and my books are just the beginning. You guys don't even know. I'm telling you. You don't even know. Beyond the max amazing. You got to trust me on that. So when I say you should invest in my books, you should also know there's about 30 other things that you don't even know about that are equally as awesome. And they're going to change things. And it's amazing. I'm pretty ecstatic, bro. Like, I'm pretty ecstatic. There is literally no way I could fail. That's the incredible thing. Like, even if 99% of the stuff that I have fails, that 1% is still epically huger than anything that's on the market anywhere. All my inventions are the biggest thing that's ever existed. I'm betting. It's the biggest thing since television was existing. Invented. Since the automobile is existing. Or, I don't know why I keep saying existing. Invented. Since ice cream was invented. Like, I'm telling you. It's that fantastic. The stuff I got, there's one idea so revolutionary. It is literally going to change the entire world by itself. And how we function in everything. It's so fantastic. I've only ever told one person ever. And I can't wait. Oh my God, bro. Just that one idea alone, I just want to tell you one thing. Billionaire with a B. Billionaire. And I will be able to wrangle. I'm not going to say what industry it's for. I'm going to be able to wrangle a part of a certain industry to about, I'd say 75 to 90%. That will give me dominance over most of the world systems. That's incredible. Just that one thing. That's incredible. Its reach is almost unlimited. That's what it is. You guys don't even know, man. You think I'm going to stay like this forever? And you think this opportunity is going to be here? I'll just get around to it when I get out. No, dude. This opportunity, any one person that could take up this opportunity, and it would be gone from you forever. And that would suck, man. Like, I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to talk like the way that the Lord says the Pharisees talk, but I'm saying I would be really scared to be you guys. A lot of you guys are just working like a 9-to-5, hoping to make it by. You don't have anything like a backup plan or anything. Anybody can work a 9-to-5, bro. Like, anybody can do that. Imagine being a genius with super amazing ideas that could revolutionize the world and change things for the better. I'm not trying to be mean to anybody about anything. I'm just saying I just don't know how you guys do it. I don't know how you guys live every day. Like, how do you live every day? Can anybody tell me that in the comments? Probably nobody's watching this far. If anybody is, I just want to know how you do it every day. I used to work a 9-to-5. I used to be partner in a business, and I couldn't stand it. I thought for real. I felt like every minute that I was at my job felt like I was wasting my life. That's literally what it felt like. As soon as I started writing my books from God, it felt like it was better than anything I've ever felt before. Anything. Even when I was, not a Christian. Sex. It was better than sex. It was better than anything. When I write my stuff, poetry, books, inventions, anything, it's the greatest feeling I've ever had in my life. I feel like my purpose is honed in, focused laser beam, dude. And it just, everything that's in me just extracts out onto the page or to whatever I'm doing. It feels like I know that this was why I was created. This is why I exist. And you guys working 9 to 5s, I feel really bad for you, because I'm betting that that's never what God intended for your existence. I feel bad for people. People put me down like I'm the crazy one. Bro, you're working 9 to 5, giving 8 hours, a third of your day for some colored paper that you can just put in your pocket for 5 seconds, then take it out of your pocket to hand to other people just so that you can live inside of a box. That's crazy. You're literally giving all of your years and life to something that you could just constantly exist. Think about that for just a second. You're not even gaining anything. You're not even gaining anything. You're just existing. Think you need about what, 6 to 8 hours of sleep. Then you got to work for 8 hours. That's 16 hours right there. Plus a shower, plus you got to eat, tack on another 2 hours. That's 18 hours. Then maybe you would get to watch a football game. You know, that's 2 hours. You're up to 18, 20 hours now. You talk to your kids. You ain't got no kids. You got a girlfriend. You ain't got no girlfriend. You just sit there and surf on the internet for a couple hours, and bam, that's your whole entire life. That would suck, my dude. I would never do that. I'd rather be ragged and homeless, dude. I really would. I would never want to give somebody a part of my life, so much of my life, a third of my life, for some colored paper to just exist inside of a box. You're not even going to get it. Oh, you got your own house, you got your own car. Oh, so fantastic. What's beyond that? Everybody has that. Even bums have that. Like, even welfare bums have that, who live in public housing. Everybody has that. What do you have more than that? You don't have anything more than that. Oh, you can go on a vacation once every year? Oh, so amazing. Oh my God, bro. Like, I couldn't imagine living like that. That is the worst possible existence I could ever think to do. Really. You guys need to start chasing and building and growing what God decided to put in you. You specifically, not everybody else. Or maybe he has somebody you're supposed to team up with, like a teammate, and you guys build something fantastic together. Do the 9 to 5 to exist, but put all of your effort into what God planted in you. I'm telling you, man, because once you think about it, you're going to be 50 years old, 60 years old, looking be like, wow, gave all that time to a job. You know what I can't stand the most? The people who say, oh, I worked at a factory for 40 years. I hate those people in movies. I can't stand them. Bro, you literally gave 40 years of your life to what? What do you have at the end of it? A gold watch or a certificate that says I worked there 40 years. My retirement, and now I'm an old person. You realize you only have one life in this existence. One. You will never get it back again. Not any day you've ever lived will you ever have again. Never, never, never. You're never going to get any of it back again, ever. Tomorrow, this day is gone forever. The day that we're living in, by tomorrow, gone. Never getting it back. Never, zero. What are you doing? Oh my God, bro, I could not think of a worse existence. That you gave up 30, 40 years of your life. Oh, I worked in the military for 30 years. What? That's literally what you did? You didn't chase any dreams? You wanted to be a poet. You never wrote a single... I couldn't think of it. 5 years in, I would have killed myself. I would have took the pistol, shot myself right in the head. I couldn't do it. It's an impossibility to me. It's not possible. And it would never happen. Never, zero. Zero. It would never happen. I don't know how people continue to do it. I look at them and I'm like, I don't ever say this, but I'm thinking this, like, why haven't you killed yourself yet? Like, it could not possibly be a worse existence than that. Work like a slave for some colored paper that you just hand to somebody else just to keep electricity on. Just to keep, a TV on, like, oh my God, bro, there's got to be a better way than this. It's just got to be something better than this. I'm pretty much guaranteeing that that's not what God designed. That's not what he designed. I bet he designed all of us probably pretty much to be our own plantation owners. Like we own plantation. No, that's the wrong word. Giant farms or whatever with herds and crops and cattle. That's how it originally was back in the Bible. And then they took all these things and sold them out as produce. The greatest lives you will ever read about in the Bible, in the Old Testament, pretty much, well, they were like farmers and herdsmen. They had the greatest, they were the richest people on the planet. They had the greatest lives. I couldn't, oh my God. They were working for what was theirs. You're working for somebody else. You're lining their pockets. They're getting all of your life. They're literally draining your life. You're not even a person to them. To big companies, you're not even a person. You know what you are? Man hours. That's what you are. How could you live like that? It's disgusting. I don't mean to put anybody down. Hey, if that's your choice, you gotta do what you gotta do. You know what I'm saying? But that's kind of like my retaliation towards people who say that what I'm doing is, ridiculous. What you're doing is ridiculous. And you know who's going to have the worst time figuring that out? And going to have the worst experience figuring that out? You, when you're like 50 or 60 years old. You're going to look back with your crusty old self. Oh my God, I wasted my whole life. I didn't do anything I ever wanted to do. My dreams are shattered. I'm too old now. That's what you're going to be like. You are going to be like that. I'd rather fall on my face, at least trying, than never try. It's not only cowardly, but it's just self-destructive. You're destroying your own self. God designed your soul, put it in your body, and spoke things into your soul that you were supposed to do while you were here that would fulfill you as a human being, fulfill you as a living spirit, that would give your life complete purpose, and that would change things and make things awesome here. I'm betting so many of you, and most especially for the older audience that listens to this, I feel really bad for you because most likely you've done none of it. You've done zero. Your time's running out, man. Like, just stop. Just break it all down. Be like, dude, I will figure out these slavers and these oh man, they're like these people that come for your bills. They're more relentless than enemies on a battlefield, dude. They're like, dude, we'll put you in homelessness if you don't pay instantly. Like, it's crazy. These people are not even your friend. They're like drug addicts. They're like drug dealers. That's what most of these people you pay your bills to. That's what they're like. I've known a lot of drug dealers in my time. They're worse than drug dealers. I mean, drug dealers, they'll try to beat you up, rob you or something. These people will destroy your life if you don't pay your bills. You'll be homeless. Your kids will starve. You'll die. Like, that's how it works. That's equal to or worse than drug dealers. If you think about it, it's crazy. And you guys are like, oh man, I just love doing it. You're going to love doing it forever, bro. You're going to be a slave forever. It's a trickery. It's a trickery so that you don't ever follow what God designed for you to do. It's what it is. It's trickery. They flash a little bit of colored paper and some health insurance, and you're instantly in. I'll never do it, dude. I will never do it. I used to be part owner in a business called Repine Recycling. I used to work so many different jobs, dude. It's so dumb. It's so dumb. If you think about it, you're not gaining anything. Zero. Where's the step after having a box and a box on wheels? Like, what is the step after that? What is the deeper meaning to it? At this job that I'm going to for the last 10 years that I've been doing it, do I actually have a franchise or something set in stone for myself that it could carry on as a family legacy? No, because it's not none of yours. You're working for somebody else. Like when you retire, all of that was for nothing. Really. Doesn't stay in your family. You get no big giant prize at the end. Nothing. Oh my God, bro. It's horrible. Is everybody starting to see the picture now? Like you're running in a rat race that's psychotic. It's mentally ill. It really is. And people think that I'm mentally ill for doing what God exactly told me to do. And it's so fulfilling. And you guys think that I'm the crazy one. Bro, you are crazy. You're giving up this life that you will never have again for chasing colored paper. That's the dumbest. Oh my God, bro. Just, I'm not even going to say it. I was going to say kill yourself, but I'm not trying to say that. God forgive me. Oh my God, how could you do it? That's incredible. Like when you're 60 years old, you're going to be crying so hard, like, oh my God, what did I do? I wasted my whole life. And then you're going to have to stand before God and explain to him why you didn't do anything that he gave you the personal, pleasurable desire to do. You didn't do any of it. You didn't sing those songs like you wanted to. You didn't, make any CDs like you wanted to. You just listen to everybody else. Oh, don't chase your dreams. No, stick to what seems right to do this traditional job, to pay bills to other slavers. Like, oh my God, bro. You got tricked. You got tricked. Like, you got tricked. You know what I'm saying? I mean, do your dream, what God told you to do, in a way that you can make money off of it. Like the way that God helped me to do my books. Make money off of it. Don't be doing dumb stuff. I mean, like, do whatever God told you to do, but, find a way to monetize it. That's how you do it, That's how it works. Fantastic deal. All right, guys, I've been talking for so long, bro, but we know the evidence. The evidence is clear. The king is with me, and he spoke in real time. And you might want to jump on board, because this gravy train ain't going to be in the station for much longer, I don't think. You might want to get on board. And just for everybody else who might want to see God in real time, go ahead and share this with everybody. Follow me on Facebook. On my Facebook page, you can find the link to my YouTube channel, which is Reality Check. That's the name of my YouTube channel. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, turn on notifications, and you'll get notified every time I make a new video. I can't wait to start making evidence videos for you guys. I've made so many evidence videos showing the process from when I first began till now. In the last couple of years, I made a bunch of them that show like it is possible. They're always going to say that you can't do it and that you suck and you're the worst and you're living in some kind of fantasy and all this stupid stuff that they say about you. But I have literally like 30 evidence videos where I show concrete evidence. Like, I remember one where I showed, it said in fine print writing from the most notable people in the entire literary world, Morgan Coudray, you are one of the greatest poets censused from the entire planet of 2016. Of everyone we've asked, you are in the top 10%. I am one of the greatest poets in the world. They literally said that. Masters of the poetry industry have said that. And I'm honored in a book as being that. That's concrete evidence that these naysayers and these doubters and these haters, they don't know what they're talking about. They're demon possessed or something, dude. Like, you are doing fantastic things for God, so Satan has to rise up people, even if they don't even know what they're talking about, even if they're totally lying. They're completely lying. They're full of, they're full of dookie. You know what I'm saying? They're full of it. They really are. They're just saying anything to try to stop you. Why? Because they're jealous or they don't want you to be outside the box that they try to capture you in. All kinds of different reasons to do it. All you got to do is be like, I'm deaf. Here inside my bubble is all I can hear. Me and God. That's all I can hear. Everybody else, I can't hear anymore past that. 2 feet out, I can't hear no more. Sorry, I don't know what you're talking about. Can't understand you. I'm going back to my business. And you keep on going with it, and then you'll be able to see evidences, bro. Like evidences that will rock your world. Evidences that nobody will be able to dissuade you from anymore. The first piece of evidence that I got, they said that we want to honor you for free. You ain't even got to pay for it. You ain't got to do nothing. You just send us one of your masterworks and we will add it to a book. That was the very first time that I was able to show you guys evidences that they said that. And then I was able to show you guys my book contracts where they want to do contract deals with me for my books. But I couldn't. Excuse me. But I couldn't because they wanted to change stuff in my books and edit it to make it whatever the popular culture is now. But I'm not doing that. So, because we're here to break popular culture back towards morality, not be like the rest of the world. Okay? I'm not doing it. I don't care if it takes the next 50 years. I'm not doing it. We're here to break the system and make the world better, not be a bunch of the same. Right? We're to be a light on a hill. That's what we're to be. We're to be the light of the world, the salt of the earth. That's what we're to be. And that's what we're not even going to compromise. We're not even going to entertain the idea of compromising. Right? That's exactly right. You better get that in your head. Be a soldier for Christ. Okay? Our Lord Father, Yahweh. Our Lord Brother, Christ Jesus. Our Lord Brother, indwelling Holy Spirit within us. Our Lord Family, our Lord God. Elohim Almighty. He infinitely loves all of you. And I super love you as well. If you're learning, growing, or feeding here, tithe and offer here. Have an amazing day. Stick true to the Lord. Be 100% authentic. And carry your cross as you know you should. And speak Ionos Zoe. And Zoe. Yeshua, Jesus, into every area of your life. And I'd say follow your dreams and quit being a slave, really. And while you're doing all of that, don't forget to rest in His peace, mercy, love, protection, honor, guidance, His health, His healing, His wealth, His prosperity, His breaking of all the chains that bind you, His shalom, and His totally awesomeness and amazingness and super amazingness. And thank Him for everything. And as always, bless the King. I super love you guys, man. I hope you get on board. I hope you guys get on board. I hope people stop doubting me and stop saying stupid stuff about my books. You need to get on with faith, bro. You don't even know. Like, it's about to go down. Don't make it so that I get so irritated by what you guys are saying that I have to leave you all behind and you can't come with me because I'm getting fed up with it. Trust in the Lord. Really. It's all real. You've seen the evidence. Bless the King.